All right, so just to start off, I'd imagine you're pretty happy to be out here healthy again, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of explain to me what kind of place you're in right now relative to where we were a year ago.
I'm in a great spot, just mentally. I think, I'm having a lot of fun with everything. I'm enjoying, I've enjoyed it so much more. I'm just like I've told everyone, I'm just happy to be out here right now because last year I was sitting in my room feeling like crap, being sick and all. So I'm just happy to be out here playing and happy to be with this team. We got a great group of guys and great coaching staff and everyone around. And so I'm just excited to be with them and working every day and getting ready to, start this thing up for real. So,
What did you learn last season, not only from going through what you went with early in the season, but also, being in that situation where you're kind of watching as, more than you're playing?
I learned a ton, and there's a lot of stuff that I learned, but at the time I didn't realize I was learning as much as I was. I'm kind of realizing that now, just as far as dealing with not playing, and learning kind of how to handle that and be mature about it, and still trying to be a great teammate, and learning that you still have to try and get better and come ready to practice every day and stuff like that. So those are lessons that I'll keep applying, not just now but throughout the season. And hopefully, like I just kept saying last year, just do whatever I can to help this team win, whether it's only in practice or in practicing games or just trying to be vocal, just whatever it is, just bring whatever I can to the table.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys had a bigger cheerleader last year than you on the bench. Just
Thanks.
What kept you positive?
Just
What kept you engaged?
It was definitely hard.
Yeah.
I give props to everyone, no matter what level you're playing at, that is able to do that because it's not an easy thing. But it was just me. I think it has to come from a mindset of it's not always going to be your time to play or shine or do whatever. But all these guys are good, close friends of mine, teammates, guys that I love and I'm with every day. So it's how can I not be happy for them, even though it's not happening for me it's happening for some of these guys that I'm really close with. And so that was the biggest thing. At the end of the day, it's about Purdue winning basketball games.
Yeah.
So I got to be happy about that.
That's same approach matters when you're in the game too, though. Now, right?
For sure.
I mean, did you learn anything about the value of that sort of dynamic?
Definitely. Just when you're in the game too, it's just all about doing whatever helps the team win.
Yeah.
So that's still going to take a lot of sacrifice because we have a really, really talented team, and everyone knows that. So it's about just knowing your role and just trying to be a star in your role, whatever the team needs, and it might be different based, game-to-game basis, but we have a lot of the talent and athleticism and length and scoring, and so it's kind of just supplementing whatever else we need, to have success and win as many games as possible.
So where are you right now as a player, you feel like?
I feel good. I think confidence-wise, which I know we've talked about before, I think it's just really levels ahead where I was last year, and it just has to keep getting better. There's always going to be ups and downs. Just trying to be consistent with that every single day.
Yeah.
I think that just has kind of bled into my game, just being confident, making plays, not being afraid to make mistakes. My shot feels good, so whether I'm making shots or not, being more process-oriented, not so worried about the results of making shots or not. And defensively, I feel like I've definitely made some strides. We just have to keep doing that every single day and just working to get better. And obviously, it'll keep coming and keep adding pieces as far as we get into scouting reports and stuff like that. But overall, just keep talking, communicating, being a good teammate, and all that good stuff.
I think you were 12-1 assisted turnovers in the 3 scrimmages. You seem like you're in a. I didn't see all of them. I didn't see any of them. But do you feel like you're in a good place, decision-making-wise, and knowing the system and knowing how to compliment the guys around you and just comfortable more than anything?
Yeah, I think just that comfortability has made a big difference in kind of knowing when I can. Go out and try and make plays and kind of want to just be simple, not always try and hit the home run pass and stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously there's going to be turnovers. I'm not going to be that perfect ratio for the whole rest of the season. We're going to keep playing good teams and the games are going to keep getting more intense. So I have to be ready to deal with if I have turnovers. Don't let that put myself in a shell, kind of like it did last year. If I had an early turnover, I would kind of shut down as far as how I was playing. So just keep playing the same way, whether the turnovers are there or not. Just keep focusing on just making the right play, making guys better, and playing off of the guys that we have with Travion, Zach, and Jaden. They're going to draw so much attention. Just knowing when and where you can get them the ball, get other guys the ball, and all that good stuff.
Are there things you have earmarked in your mind that I can do this to set myself apart on a really deep team? Because this is going to be kind of a battle royal here for minutes, I imagine.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think the biggest thing is just like I said, like being positive, being a good teammate even when the minutes aren't there. Obviously, like just making open shots when they're there, and more importantly for me, I think, is taking open shots even when I've missed them. I think just continuing to take them and not shying away. Obviously, the decision making and having good assist to turnover ratio is important, and just being a great defender. Because on this team, there's going to be guys that are playing a lot of minutes, so you have to be able to help and support them. Defensively throughout the game whenever you're in, and try and give some guys breaks because they're going to be playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah, you're one of a bunch of guys in this team who are in this situation. But when you go from being, the guy for your high school, and then you have to, figure out how to kind of be a piece, how to kind of be a contributor to winning, or I don't want to say role player, but kind of role player.
Right, yeah.
How hard is that transition, and how hard's it been for you?
It's definitely been hard. That's another big experience I got last year. Even though I wasn't really playing at all, just that. Like it's not about you at all, really. It's about the team and about what you can do to help the team. And we don't, you don't really care. You have to not care what shows up in the stat sheet because there might be a lot of stuff that doesn't show up there. It helps the team win at the end of the day. So I think last year definitely helped me kind of get used to that. And obviously, everyone wants to be successful, so it's never going to be like an easy thing because everyone's competitive. Everyone wants to do the most amount that they can do, whatever. But I think at the end of the day, just helping the team win and enjoying this experience of being on a great team. Like, a team like this doesn't come around every year, so enjoying it no matter what your role is and taking it in and making it last as long as possible.
There are a bunch of guys on this team who might be establish themselves as guys who could play 25, 30 minutes a game, who are going to be playing 15 or 10 just because of your depth.
Yeah.
Things could change game to game, but depending on matchups and whatnot. What are the important parts of guys like yourself and maybe Trey Kaufman-Ran and Newman and whatnot, preparing yourselves for that sort of situation?
I think the biggest thing is just staying ready. I know I talked a lot with the coaches about it last year, like being ready for your moment because you don't know when it's going to come. So you just have to, and it's hard, man. It's hard to be ready every game and get up for every game, knowing like, hey, like this might not be it. You might only get a few minutes, you might not play, whatever. But you have to come in with that mindset every day. Otherwise, if you're getting consistent with that, you might pick a day, I'm not going to be ready today. And then today's the day that you get opportunity that you were thinking about the whole season. So just staying ready, being consistent, staying with the process. And I think just being a great teammate and supporting the guys that are playing. Because then they're going to do the same for you when you get a chance, if you're supporting them like that.
There's probably not a team in the country right now who's not talking a good game about their practices being competitive, but I imagine your practices have been really competitive. Just how is that kind of helping everyone?
I think starting out this summer, playing open gyms and practicing, whenever we're allowed to practice and stuff, there's been a lot of growth from a lot of guys just because we're so deep. And it's one thing to have a really great team, but if you don't have depth, sometimes it turns into the starters beating up on the second string guys in practice. But we have so much depth, and I know Coach Painter's talked about it before. Just there's some days where he makes certain teams in practice, or in the preseason, make certain teams. He'd be like, "Oh, this team is going to win for sure most of the drills," and it flips on them. And so it's just kind of you can never guess what team's going to do what in practice. So I think even as we get towards the season and we have a consistent set of starters in practice, whatever, the guys that are coming off the bench are still going to compete and play against them every day because you're going to have, with the starters or the backup guys, you're going to have 2 elite bigs, Zach and Travion. You're going to have 3 elite fours, Mace, Trey, and Caleb, and you're going to have the rest of the guards. So there's not there's not a loss of depth or talent anywhere as you go down the roster. So I think that's the biggest thing that's made the practice so competitive. Right. But also we're not afraid to push each other to get each other better, and knowing that that's going to help us as the season goes along.
Right.